Hi, thank you for talking to me today. I'm doing a class project about happiness. I choose you as someone I would like to interview for your thoughts on that topic. Your answers cannot be right or wrong. They reflect your own thoughts and feelings. I'm hoping to learn about happiness from your perspective. So, first, I'd like to know how you define happiness. Not what makes you happy, but happiness itself.
I think it's hard to give a straight definition of happiness because it can be different for everyone. But like personally, I would define happiness as a state of fulfillment. So it's a state where you're fulfilled with where you are in life. I would say the people around you, the goals, and if you're older, probably your career.
So, what are the things in your life that give you fulfillment?
So the things in my life that give me fulfillment are who I choose to be around and what I choose to like indulge in. So for example, like my friends and my roommates, like I love hanging out with them and I get fulfillment simply from talking to them. Personally, because I am usually like a more social kind of person. And then I also get fulfillment from my job choice. I'm pre-nursing and I chose to go in the medical field because, and like specifically nursing, because I like that one-on-one interaction with patients and having the opportunity to like help them from whatever pain they're experiencing. And then I also get fulfillment from my parents in that like loving relationship I've nurtured with them and through my brother, which ironic as it sounds because I don't talk much to him. Like when we do talk, I do feel a sense of happiness from that too.
Okay, good answer. Um, so how is wealth or money related to a person's long-term happiness or to your own personal happiness?
Okay. I feel like this question gets brought up a lot, generally, where people equate wealth to happiness. And while I do think that's true, I think that it can't be exactly causational to long-term happiness, like specifically, because wealth can buy you a lot of things. It can buy you experience, food, but with that being said, it can't buy love.
Mhm.
In the term of like I guess like an escort or like you can buy like your fake friends, but long term speaking, you're gonna realize that in the end, even if a person is like a millionaire, but he has no friends, no family, or no connections to anyone, I would say that there's a very low chance that he's actually happy with his life.
So how would you relate that to like your own life, like your own wealth and happiness?
Uh, for me personally, at the stage I am in life, like I can't lie, I would say that wealth does play some degree to how happy I am. But it plays a degree to how happy I am materialistically. Because
Mhm.
I do like shopping a lot and I I spend a lot of money on like clothing and also like I take joy like from my sorority and obviously that's not in a way Greek life at UF can be considered a luxury for some because the dues can be too much for some people to be able to afford. So some of the things that I have that I consider like not a necessity like to say, but as an everyday part of my life can only be bought with wealth or money. So, like personally speaking, wealth does play a good impact on me, but I think that that doesn't say the same for all students on campus. Cuz like I also partake in a lot of organizations that like are free. But just being in Greek life, I think that wealth has to play an impact on that.
So it's like it's a factor for long-term happiness for you, but it's not like everything.
Yeah, I think that wealth plays into like a social factor for me, but not into like the relationships I create in the bond. So even if I wasn't wealthy, I think that I would still be able to be like fulfilled with my life.
Okay. So how much do you think someone has to earn in order to be considered wealthy, and why that number?
Okay. So I think that this number is different for everybody because you'll see instances where some people choose to take a higher paying job, even if that means that they have like no time off or they can't spend much time with their families, while others choose to have a lower paying job, but they get more time off. So, for me personally, I would say a good amount that I would consider, like I would be happy with in life is like 100K. Um,
Mhm.
not by like myself though, like combined. If I made 100K by myself, that'd be great too. But I think that this really depends on the person and what their spending habits are. So like if buying clothes or like expensive things is important to them, then their idea of how much they need to make to be happy would be higher than someone who's like content with staying at home and just being like with their family. So
Yeah,
that
so
that
definitely
number changes from person. Sorry, I cut you off. That number changes from person to person, but for me, I would say like I would be happy with six figures, like in a dual income household.
because that's going to give you enough money for your basic needs and then everything material that's going to make you happy.
Yeah, and also I strongly believe in having a savings account. So where
Mhm.
there you should always have like backup funds in case like something goes wrong in your life, like oh like someone gets in a car accident, like hospital bills, or like your car the tire gets broken, anything like that. I think that people should always have extra funds like on the side just in case of like an emergency situation.
So would you say putting money into your savings account gives you more happiness or fulfillment?
Actually, in a way, yes, because
Mhm.
like my job, well, I don't really work it anymore, but in the past it offered a 401k, which I currently like don't have because obviously I'm not old enough for it. And my parents have like a life insurance fund where they put money every month and they also get some money back so that when they retire, they'll have enough to like comfortably like live off of without worrying about it. And maybe this is just me, but I find fulfillment from having that savings fund because I know that I'm setting myself up in the future to where I don't have to have that stress about worrying of like money issues.
Okay, nice. Imagine you won a lottery with $100 million payout. What things would you do first? How would your life change? Your relationships?
Um, so on the news sometimes you'll see people like wearing like winning jackpots of lotteries and such. I personally would not want to be a recipient only because I think it draws too much media attention, which can be kind of dangerous. Like I would love to win like a small amount, like 1,000 or maybe even like 10 grand. But if I were to win like 10 million, I think that's like I don't know. I don't know if I personally would want that to be honest. But I think that it can change your relationships because sometimes people see you as only about what you have, which in this case would be wealth if I were to win the lottery. And it can really question the new relationships that you make because it's like do they want to be friends with me because of my personality or do they want to be friends with me because they think I have money? So, and I think that's an issue that a lot of like rich people have, and especially in terms of marriage wise, where they question like the ethics of what a person is looking for when they're reaching out to you. But the first thing I would do if I like won the lottery was uh I'd probably start a savings account and I think I'd put away most of that. I'd probably get into like a lot of stocks, which is something I already do a little bit of. And then I'd probably buy a few houses as like investment properties and rent them out. And then I'd probably buy like a really nice house for my parents so they can like live there like comfortably. And then I'm not really like a car person like that. So like I'm happy with my car. I don't think I would buy like a Lamborghini or anything like that. Um and probably I would donate to a few charities. But
Would
yeah,
you say
personally,
would you say that helping the people around you is going to give you more happiness in the long term with that money than material things?
definitely. I think that like materialistic things, they bring me happiness in a sense, but not in the way that it's like long term. It's just like a short time. Oh, like I'm so happy I own this, right? But when you're helping others, like giving back in the community, like when I was in high school, I was super involved, like in all the clubs. I think that when you give back to your community, you get a different sense of fulfillment because it's
Mm.
like you're helping others that are in need that don't have the opportunities to help themselves. So I think charity work definitely gives more happiness than materialistic items. Yeah.
Okay, nice. What benefits related to happiness does wealth provide a person?
Okay. So while I said that wealth can't buy love, obviously, I think that it does, and it definitely can bring a sense of security because when people that are in low like income, like almost poverty households, sometimes they can't afford like food, or like they have to choose between buying necessities such as like personal hygiene items like toothpaste, body wash, or food. Like they just don't have enough for that month or that week necessarily. So they have to choose. And I think that that's when wealth plays like a huge impact, is when you don't have enough to pay for your basic necessities, or like when people have to worry about rent, or and like babies are so expensive, like baby formula. So I think that, wait, can you repeat the question one more time? I forgot the other part of it.
So what benefits related to happiness does wealth provide a person? Or how could wealth benefit you in terms of
Okay, so
happiness?
what benefits does it provide a person? Yeah. So I think that the biggest thing that wealth can provide you is a sense of security. And like
Mhm.
when you start a family, not having to worry about like how you're going to feed them that month, like what are you going to drive, like, and also it can buy experiences. But I don't mean experiences like going to like the Bahamas or anything like that. I mean experiences like, going to your local ice cream parlor, going to the arcade, going to the movies, which sounds like something that's very simple, but it's just something that some families cannot afford to do.
Okay. Would you like to add anything else?
Um, just like in general, I think that happiness, a lot of people correlate it to wealth. And while I think it is proportional in like, especially when it comes to like lower income households, I think that long term wise, you do not need to be wealthy to have happiness in your life. But with that being said, I think that is also very direct to the person and what they're looking for in life. Like if they like, going on vacations to other countries and eating out and like splurging on all these items and they're not wealthy, then that may cause them unhappiness. But like some people are content with like the small things in life. And I mean, I personally know a lot of people like from my hometown, because I come from a very like low income area, where that are super happy, but they don't necessarily make a lot in life. So I think it just depends on the person and how they view it. And I think that your perception of something can really change like how you view your happiness. Like, even if someone is necessarily not happy, they, in a way, if they like rethought about their life choices and like where they are in life and what they do have, they could in turn be someone else's version of happiness.
Okay. Thank you so much. It was nice talking to you.
All right, thank you. Well,
Thank
hope you
you.
have a
Bye.
nice day. Bye.
You too.